Schiphol 30 september. Deze week ging achter de douane op de luchthaven eindelijk het lang verwachte Yotel open. Yotel CEO Jared Green en oprichter en inspirator Simon Woodruff waren speciaal uit Engeland overgekomen om de opening te verrichten en hun plannen voor de toekomst uit te vouwen.
Peace in the airports, yeah. The name's John Lennon. It's 40 years ago today. 40 years ago today, John Lennon said, that's how Sgt. Pepper started. It was 40 years ago today. Sgt. Pepper's told the band to play. So may I introduce to you the one and only Yotel team here. It really was nearly 40 years ago that John Lennon and Yoko Ono sat in the Amsterdam Hilton. For those of us old enough to remember, he says, glancing at a few in here, sat in the Amsterdam Hilton and said, give peace a chance. And when Gerard and I first started thinking about a hotel, we started Yo Sushi in '97, about 10 years ago, and soon after that I started thinking about what would a hotel be if it was called Yotel. And we looked at Japanese capsule hotels, and we looked at luxury yachts, and we looked at actually airliners. And I was lucky enough to get an upgrade onto a flatbed, one of the new flatbeds at the time. And I remember waking up in it and thinking, if you could take the luxury of first-class travel and translate it into a hotel so that you could have real luxury in a very small space, we could be really onto something. We built a prototype of a very small room with the window looking onto the corridor without a natural light. And I remember Gerard and I walking into a polystyrene room and admitting to each other that we were absolutely scared stiff, but people would walk in and say, we are never ever going to sleep in a room that's 7 square meters. But we actually looked at each other and said, this could be smaller. And I think what we've tried to do with Yotel, I call it the holy grail of retail. If you can actually deliver to ordinary people what rich people have in the 21st century, you've got a magical formula. And hopefully that's what we're offering today. And as well as that formula, to actually have a place that you can get a bit of peace in the airport. It's been a long, long road. We built the first prototypes nearly 4 years ago, and we exhibited them and then did Gatwick, Heathrow. Schiphol called one day and said, we've seen what you've done in the airports, we'd like to do one in Schiphol. So that was the first overseas airport. They're still tiny hotels. This is 57 rooms, and the ones in the UK are sort of 40 rooms. I still call them almost the beginnings, the prototypes. We're looking to do 200 to 1,000 rooms in each hotel. That's what we're really looking to do, is large hotels. Of course, you know, there's a magical ingredient in these hotels because they use very, very little space. Here I'm in the premium room, which is 10 square meters. The standard room, 7 square meters. We can put more than twice as many rooms as a conventional hotel room into the same space. And of course we can go into places that nobody else can go to. Most hotels wouldn't be able to get into this site we are here at Schiphol Airport because the windows look onto the corridor. You know, most people can't do that. So, you know, that's the radical side of what we're doing. In the next few months we've got a lot of exciting announcements, both in Europe and overseas and internationally, right from the Americas through to Hong Kong. And you'll see a lot of hotels open. We'll be, I would say that we would be in most of the major airports in the world in the next few years. And certainly we're looking to be in the top 10 hotels in the world. It's a very ambitious plan, and it's really only because we can do it. We can go into sites that nobody else can go in. Our financial model is enormous because every hotel chain in the world is trying to get 100% occupancy and punching the air, you know, when they get to 98%. We're trying to get 200. We're achieving 200% occupancy already, and we're looking for 300% occupancy because we sell the rooms by the block of hours, so we can re-let the rooms constantly. So I think that Yotel sort of captures a fairly unique market because it's not trying to be a highfalutin hotel, and it's certainly not an expensive hotel, but by the same token, it's not a cheap hotel. You know, it's not a kind of traveller's hotel, a backpacker's hotel. So it's fairly exclusive, but on the other hand, I always say there's a million different hamburger joints in the world. You know, there's room for a lot of hotels in the world, and I think it's what sort of brand loyalty, what you like. And luckily, there's enough people who like Yotel. Well, you're asking me about what's the harder market, the land side or the air side. The truth is, until we get further into it, we won't know. But I would imagine in Schiphol, we got 57 rooms here. I'd be very surprised if we didn't double or treble it airside and possibly open a landside as well. For the next few months, you'll see us talking about announcements about more in Europe, more hotels in Europe, and indeed overseas, everywhere from the Americas to China and Hong Kong. Sure, we want 1,000 hotels, but you know, life, as John Lennon said, here we are celebrating peace in our time, peace in the airport, like John Lennon and Yoko Ono did all those years ago in the Amsterdam Hilton. But John Lennon also said, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans, and it's the same with business. You know, I do believe we'll be a very large business and have that capacity, but you've got to do that one hotel at a time.